Hello and welcome to Network. I am Lebogang Sitjake, your host for this Women's Month. You can follow us on SABC Network on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. We are News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Now let's look at what's coming up on the show. National Science Week just took place in South Africa. It's a celebration and promotion of science-based activities. Kenyan opposition leader has alleged vote rigging through what he says is hacking of the Electoral Commission system. Now, we are joined by co-founder of Pink IT and innovation specialist to talk about how to lure young women into the tech field. How are you, Mbali?
I'm good, and yourself?
Now tell us what can be done to sort of attract women into this tech industry.
So I feel like what we need to do is have more women who are in the industry, exposing themselves, talking about what they're doing more, hosting events, free events that is, so that every woman, every age can actually afford and be there.
All right, then we'll go on that later on the show, okay?
Thank you.
Remember that you can join the conversation on social media platforms. National Science Week took place under the theme Advancing Science Tourism. The launch took place at the Nelson Mandela University in Port Elizabeth. Science and Technology Minister Naledi Pandor was there to encourage young people to take STEM subjects.
Science, often seen as boring and difficult by many, but this platform seeks to change that and boost interest in the subject among high school pupils.
I want to study agricultural engineering next year. And today I learned a lot of things. It was a great experience.
I've gained skills, and also I've learned that in order to be successful, you need to pursue your dreams and your goals.
South Africa is making great strides in the science field.
So there are fields where our scientists rank among the best in the world, but still it's not enough. As South Africa and as Africa, we have to do much more. And that's why I'm really glad that South Africa has become a place of training of African scientists.
Pandor also visited the Center of High-Resolution Transformation Electron Microscopy at the Nelson Mandela University. It is the first and only one of its kind in Africa, boasting some of the world's best microscope equipment.
Well, look, it is very much fascinating first. It's exciting as well that as the province we're hosting a facility of this magnitude. Certainly one was growing a little despondent at times. There is talk about the fourth industrial revolution. Are we ready for this? I think this has demonstrated our readiness to participate.
Although many school pupils will be exposed to the science field this week, more needs to be done to increase interest in the field.
Kenya's leader of the opposition coalition, Raila Odinga, has claimed vote rigging through hacking. Odinga lost the presidential election to incumbent Uhuru Kenyatta a few days ago. Sarah Kimani tells us how his hacking claims are being disputed.
In Kisumu, one of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's strongholds, angry opposition supporters lit bonfires and hurled rocks at police officers minutes after he rejected the results. Odinga says hackers accessed the Electoral Commission system using the identity of the slain ICT official Chris Msando.
They created errors in the IBC core server, as highlighted at page 2 of the document annexed to this statement, that allowed them to turn a democratic process into a function of a formula.
The ruling party accused the opposition leader of being a sore loser. Odinga lost the 3 previous elections. This was his last hope.
So it's a kind of desperate situation, and he has to come up with some plausible argument for his constituency that he had psyched that he must win.
The Electoral Commission says its systems are secure, but it has promised to look into Odinga's claims.
We have faith in the system. It's the same system we used for verification, it's the same system we used for candidate management, it's the same system we are using now for the rest of the processes. So yes, if there are claims, we shall look into them. But as for now, I cannot say whether or not the system has been hacked.
Acting Interior Security Minister Dr. Fred Matiang'i assured Kenyans that security will be guaranteed.
We are not aware of any any possible threat as a result of political activity in the country, and therefore I don't see any reason why I would caution anyone about being careful about any activity that's going on. We're not aware of any.
At least 1,200 people were killed following a dispute over poll results in 2007.
A young Nigerian innovator created an app that could help prevent food wastage in the country. Nigerian entrepreneur Oscar Ekponimo is working to reduce food waste in Nigeria by getting stores to donate groceries they don't need to poor families. The software engineer has developed a web app known as Chowberry, which enables charities to shop for products that are about to expire at a discounted price.
There was a phase in the family where my dad was temporarily ill and out of work, and I remember vividly during that time period the challenge at home was access to a wholesome meal, a quality meal. We could go a day or two without having a quality meal, and this was something that affected me psychologically and also impacted on my academics. And I always said sometime in the future I would resolve this problem. I would leverage my abilities and capacities to ensure that others don't go through what I went through.
The app allows charities to access products ranging from cereals, cooking oil, powdered milk to snacks, among other groceries. The organizations later distribute the products to children's homes and low-income communities.
We are looking to impact 50,000 to 100,000 households with affordable nutrition by 2018, by the end of 2018. And the long-term goal is to have this platform evolve into a big data platform. And our value proposition is simple. Simply plug the waste that is going on the food value chain and redirect what would have been wasted to those that need it the most.
Ekponimo won the 2016 Rolex Award for Enterprise, which recognizes extraordinary projects that benefit communities around the world. He's working to develop his app further to help cut waste in more parts of the country and enable retailers to save more money at the same time. After the break, we discuss ways that could drive young women into the technology sector with Mbali Hlongwane from Pink IT. Do stay tuned.
What do you guys do? We do IT. IT? Yeah. That's great.
Share a castle, make some new friends.
So from Port Elizabeth, I eventually left there, joined the circus, as you know, and travelled. I was a singer, I was a race car driver, and I wanted to see what my chances were in America. So I started off with MTV, and I started producing music, because I was in the music business, you know. So I started producing musical acts with Black Sabbath, Guns N' Roses, Motorhead, and I became Wine, Women and Song. That was my life in Hollywood.
A pioneer, a Crystal Award recipient, Basil Gold is a force to be reckoned with. For more inspiring stories, stay tuned to Bupilong every Friday. Did you know that hippopotamus are susceptible to sunburn and spend most of their sunny days with only their noses out of the water whilst the rest of their body is immersed in water? Their noses have special flaps that close when submerged and can stay underwater for 25 minutes. The hippopotamus is the third largest living land mammal after the elephant and the white rhino. The hippo is 13 feet long and up to 5 feet tall, and the female weighs up to 655 kilograms. The hippopotamus is a grazer, eats up to 40 kilograms of grass at night, and it has a life expectancy of only 50 years.
Welcome back. Google has fired the male employee who wrote an anti-diversity memo. The man had written that there are biological reasons behind gender inequality in the technology space. Take a look.
Google engineer James Damore has confirmed that he was fired by Google. He says he's exploring legal measures in response. He penned a 10-page document titled Google's Ideological Echo Chamber, which said biological differences are the result of the gender imbalance in the tech sector. The memo claims that women prefer jobs in social or artistic areas, while more men may like coding, and that this split in personality was due to genetics rather than culture or societal constructs. It also states biology is the reason fewer women are found in leadership roles in the space, and that we need to stop assuming gender pay gaps imply sexism. It ignited a firestorm in Silicon Valley. Dr. Bernice Ledbetter, who leads the leadership program at Pepperdine University's business school, says the email will help accelerate change.
This is like a catalyst. This is like this is like now they've entered the fast lane, the super highway fast lane of increasing diversity and inclusion in the organization.
Less than a third of Google's global employees are women, and the number is much lower in its tech and management divisions. Black or Hispanic workers make up only about 6% in America, where the company is headquartered.
Here to talk more on ways that could possibly help attract young women into the tech industry is innovation specialist and co-founder of Pink IT, Mbali Hlongwane. Hello Mbali, welcome to Network.
Hi Lebo, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Now let's pick up from that insert, Mbali. They say biology could be the reason why there's inequality in the tech sector. I mean, do you agree with that statement?
I mean, I believe that it has nothing to do with biology, but it has everything with the surroundings. It has everything to do with where you grow up. I mean, we are programmed to believe that as women, you are meant to be bought, pink fluffy things, princess looking things. And guys are, from a very young age, bought cars, computers. And it's exactly what drives you and builds you and makes you the person who then becomes interested in building and creating things. And women, we're taught to, be gentle and soft and be pink.
All right, that is true. So, but I mean, with what these people on the insert, like I said, had said prior, was that women are more inclined to art or creativity-driven careers. But don't you think we do need that creative edge when it comes to creating and innovating?
Of course we do. I mean, and I do believe that we have more women in those spaces because that's where we feel comfortable. Those are exactly the spaces where women feel like, I can be myself, I can express myself, there's more women also in those fields. And I think that then becomes competitive and motivating for them. Whereas in the, tech industry, you find more men than women. And obviously as a woman, you then kind of feel, pushed aside a bit, and you always have to work harder to proving yourself. And of course we do need those creative and design side in the tech space because everything then has to have a look and feel to it. And that's what they call the UX, the journey, the user experience, the journey.
Mbali, you have a background. You're a software developer by qualification. Now let's talk about it. How did you get attracted to this industry?
So I was just a girl from Imlazi back in Durban, and I remember when my father bought us our first computer, we did not sleep. The entire night we were like, we needed to understand everything that was happening with this computer. And when I left high school, I knew that I wanted to do something in the tech space. I knew I wanted to study technology, but I did not want to, be in the networking side, all the electrical part of it. So when I studied in the Microsoft Academy back in Durban, my whole passion was just to understand more what happens behind what we see. You see an app or you see a game, whatever it is, but what really happens behind it. And that's exactly what got me interested. And it was so amazing how whenever I went back home, people would ask me, "But what are you doing now?" Programmer, developer, what is that? Nobody ever seems to understand. And it still exists. You still go back and say, you know what, Pink IT is a community for female software developers. And people are like, what is a software developer?
So tell me, okay, you talk about your organization, Pink IT. Do you think there are enough programs that push out awareness about programming or software development outside, like to girls especially?
You know what, I used to think there were not enough, but currently I think there are so many initiatives that are doing exactly what we are doing as Pink IT, trying to get more girls into the IT industry, trying to get them interested, exposing opportunities to them, and building communities and networks for them where they can obviously feel comfortable and, share the same passion with a lot of girls. But what I also believe, what happens is that I feel these communities then remain within the girls who already are in the industry. So now the question then becomes, how do we reach out to girls who are, your air hostesses? How do we reach out to girls who is just a chef? How do we reach out to just the mom, make them also like and understand it? Because we always say that robots are coming and technology is becoming the future, and we only want girls to be part of that, moving future. We want girls to also understand, as much as you might not be a developer, but understand what it is, know how it's done, know how it works, and that I think will only make us powerful women.
So you mentioned earlier that in your community people didn't understand what it is you do. Do you think that society sometimes makes the girl child shy away from such technical programs or technical careers?
Of course. I mean, you are told to be a doctor, you are told to be a lawyer, and that's exactly what your mom wants you to be. And that's exactly what makes you then feel like, I've accomplished something. And every time you say, I'm in IT, people kind of look at you and say, okay, so what are you doing there? It seems as if you're stuck. Or people are saying, she's still going to find herself. But that's why we start now exposing these opportunities and saying, you know what, you can be a game developer, you can do fun things in the industry also. You can start your own app, you can do amazing, amazing stuff. So now we're trying to change the mentality and say, you know what, it's not only boring, because that's another thing. People shy away from it because they believe it's boring.
So what do you think is the extra edge, that thing that women bring? What is it exactly about women that we can bring to the table?
So I believe that obviously, I always say that technology, everything, if you look at it, it's grey, it's black, the devices they build, everything is just dark. And I believe us women, we bring that color. We bring that, extra edge, like you say. We do that by just, looking at, everything that from the color to the design. We understand, what other women want to see. We understand, what a girl wants to, walk around in her hand with. So I think that's why it's so important to make sure that everything is balanced out by making sure we have more women in the tech industry to also speak on behalf of the women who are going to be using these devices, using these apps.
Thank you so much. That was a mouthful, Mbali. Thank you so much for being our guest today.
Pleasure. Thanks. You so much, Lebo.
That was Mbali Hlongwane from Pink IT. Now, we caught up with Kaiser Chiefs player Brilliant Kuzwayo, and he told us what his favorite piece of technology is.
Brilliant player from Kaiser Chiefs.
Hi, my name is Brilliant Kuzwayo, Kaiser Chiefs player. My favorite gadget is PlayStation 4. Why? Because I love it so much that most of the time I'm a footballer. I always play FIFA 17.
Real Madrid, is this what is, I guess, our exhibition match?
This story is about what happens when we put our differences aside and we come together as a human race.
Salt makes its way out of the kitchen into the art studio.
Normally, salt is for food and stuff, but then here's salt.
past couple of months, I've grown so much, and I'm just ready to impart what I've learned to the next Miss South Africa.
I wasn't expecting this. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm feeling so overwhelmed.
For your weekly dose of entertainment news, tune into Trends every Saturday from 12 to 1.
All right, we talk about a healthy lifestyle, but what is this healthy lifestyle? What we're talking about really is you are healthy in those three areas of life: body, mind, and soul.
Before you embark on a weight loss journey, rather first speak to your person who has your complete clinical picture.
Ideally, your plate should look like this. Half of your plate should be fruit and vegetables. A quarter of your plate, starch. Quarter, protein.
Tell you some of the things that I really enjoy doing for that bottom pouch as well as for cardio. So you do your kicks, you kick back.
Join Health Talk every Saturday for all your health news.
What guides us? What leads us forward? Is it the advice of our elders? Is it the actions of our people? Or the voices of our citizens? Your country is guided by the voices of its people, and your broadcaster is dependent on your voice to guide it. Get your copy of the SABC's editorial policy and have your say.
Welcome back. In Japan, there was a physical Pokemon Go festival, and in China, they are using solar power to turn deserts into forests. These are some of the tech stories that made headlines in the last week.
A solar power station experiment is being carried out in Kabuki Desert to control desertification and even turn the area green in North China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. For thousands of years, there was nothing in the area but sand. Desertification threatens the environment as well as the regional economy. Built for only 2 years, this is now one of the largest solar power stations in northwestern China. The solar power station generates 500 million kilowatt hours of electricity every year. It has also increased income for the local people.
Our ecological management must bring economic benefit, otherwise it will not be sustainable.
The desert economy model in Kabuki has turned 6,000 square kilometers of desert green, created 5 billion yuan in value, and helped 100,000 farmers to shake off poverty. Moving further abroad, thousands of Pokemon Go players gathered in the Japanese port city of Yokohama to try their hand at catching rare Pokemons while watching dance shows featuring giant Pikachus. The festival, which is jointly organized by Yokohama City and Pokemon Company, features a total of 15,000 Pikachus. The Pokemon Go Park, the festival's main venue, often gets so busy, causing the service to crash due to congestion. Last month, nearly 20,000 people gathered at the first ever Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago. Staying in Japan, a single push of a button starts the operation of the science fiction movie-like smart system for bike parking. Known as EcoCycle, built 11 meters deep into the ground, it only takes 13 seconds on average to park or retrieve a bike, taking the headache out of having randomly parked bikes all over town.
No need to lock up is the most convenient, especially during morning rushes. Just leave it there, unlocked.
Once into the silo, the mechanism goes from sci-fi to high-tech, and the silos are not only emission and theft-free, but earthquake-proof as well as effortless. Mazda Motor Corp said it would launch a new engine in 2019 that it says would be the world's first commercial gasoline engine to use compression ignition, placing traditional engines at the center of its long-term strategy. As many automakers scramble to get into the electric car segment, the Japanese automaker said it would start introducing electric and other electrified vehicles from 2019.
Domesty is an app that links freelance domestic workers with potential employers. Creators of the app, Tatoyao Namarumo and Berna Potgieter, have received a number of awards for the app. They started in Cape Town, but say they've seen significant growth here in Johannesburg areas. We caught up with Berna, who told us more about Domesty.
Domestically is a smartphone application. It's a website that you can use to find and hire domestic cleaners. So it works a lot similar like the Uber, the taxi company, where we operate, where you can find reliable background check cleaners. So you can go onto our website, which is domestically.com. You can also download the app on Android and on iPhone, and you can basically then search in your area where you can find cleaners. So you will type in Sandton, Johannesburg, and you will find a list of reliable cleaners that you can book. And every one of them has been background checked, interviewed by us, screened, and went through our training academy that we put together for them. The clinic controls everything themselves. So they decide, if they're living in Tembisa, they want to work, on the East Rand. If they stay in Alexandria, then they can work on Sandton. So they decide which areas they want to work. They also decide which days of the week they want to be available. So a lot of them, are studying part-time. They are looking after kids or something. So they only want to work 3 days a week on our platform, and we allow that for them. Last year, this time, we won the MTN App of the Year, which is one of the largest technology awards in South Africa. After that, we also won the most disruptive app in Africa, hosted by Apps Africa. And since that, we've gotten a lot of recognition, locally and internationally. And just recently, we've gotten the Industrial Development Corporation on board as a partner. Traditionally, the Industrial Development Corporation would invest into mines and very mature industries, but they're realizing, with technology, we can create jobs and we can uplift people. So I think they're taking a lot of interest in this space now.
This week, our Twitter poll is asking if you think it's important to celebrate Science Week in South Africa. 66% of respondents say yes, 16% say no. That figure is in last place. There is 18% of those who say they don't know. Well, that's all we have for you this week. Be sure to catch me again next week, same time, same place. Remember, it is at SABC Network on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And we are News Network at sabc.co.za on email. We leave you with a video of Pokemon Go fans enjoying their time with giant Pikachus at Japan's Yokohama Festival. From me and the rest of the network team, cheers and have a great one.